Hello.
Hey,
Yes.
we're
Hello.
live. How cool is that?
Yes, it is. And welcome, Arthur Carmazzi and all our viewers. Today, we are with another amazing transformational leader full of zest and life, as you can see. Welcome, Arthur, to this Insights with Transformation Leaders show.
Well, thank you for having me, Azeeza. I'm so grateful to be here.
Yes, indeed. And friends, this is going to be a wonderful time. This segment has been created primarily to bring to you the secrets and challenges, most importantly, of globalization in today's world, and also how successfully these amazing people have been trailblazers moving forth in their career and their life, impacting people around the world. And thank you so much, Mr. Arthur Carmazzi, for joining us. He's currently in, as you know, he's currently in Bali. As you can see, he's not an Indonesian, but he is brought up in America. And he's going to tell us a lot more about that. He is the founder of DCI. The organization is very, very amazing what he has put together. He's the founder of the Directive Communication Psychology best-selling author, ranked as the one of the world's top thought leaders in leadership and company culture. He just told me, and we're going to speak a lot about it, he has got this amazing program that is out to 27 different countries, and that's amazing. Awesome. Thank you so much, Arthur, for joining us today.
Well, I'm ready to serve.
Yes, it is going to be really fun because we're going to ask you some very, very interesting questions that people in today's industry, be it business or trainers and coaches, have been, looking for answers out there. So you're going to be the answer for many, many people like that. Tell us, Arthur, what was the challenges faced when you were trying to establish your business in Asia?
Wow. Well, okay. So first of all, when I was trying to establish my business in Asia, I was about $500,000 in debt. So that was probably my biggest challenge, is like I had no money and everybody was chasing me, and it's very stressful. I don't recommend it. So that, and I guess, some of the other things, of course, the different cultures. When I first came to Asia, I was in Korea, and so I actually had a real job and everything else. But when I started to establish my own business, I started in Singapore, and Singapore is kind of like it's like the beginner's entry into Asia, right? Because Singapore is like it's like international, right? So,
you love Singapore, don't you?
Yeah. So it's not like some of the other countries where the culture is so drastic that you have to learn entire new customs. Like, for example, I had to in Korea, but Singapore was a great place to really start from, simply because it had people, at least a lot of people, were a lot more forward thinking than some other places where they'll look at you when you come up with these ideas and they'll say like, what? No, that'll never work here. and of course now it's working, but
right. And so you found the right place to work from. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's overcoming a challenge is to position yourself from Singapore. Well, that's a tip. But when you get into, now you are in Bali, you want to tell us a little bit about that? What brought you there?
Well, okay. So first of all, I started in Singapore, but remember, I was when I was in Singapore, I had done this like business, right? And it failed, and that's why I ended up like $500,000 in debt, and so which really sucked. And so then when I actually got this job, right? And when I got this job, it was like, how like you're very excited when you first get a job and like, wow, I get to go to work today. And you're thinking about what's going to happen like 3 months in the future and a year into the future and 5 years. And you got all these plans and you're like very excited. And then about like 3 weeks later, things kind of start to end up not going in the way that you want them to. And so anyway, I'm in this organization, and people are blaming everybody, and I'm thinking, no, this is fine. I can, we can work something out. We're going to get there. And then, then after that, I come up with some ideas. Have you ever had some great ideas?
Yep, lots of them.
So I come up with these ideas. I come over to these other department heads, right? And I'd sell them, hey, look, I've got these really cool ideas. I've got all this stuff. And so what ends up happening is that they look at me and they say, we understand you're new here. Okay. But look, we've got our things to do and we're very busy, and you've got your things to do. So you do your thing and we'll do our thing. And I'm like, no, man, but I was very excited. I knew I could make a difference. I knew I could make things happen. And 4.5 months later, you know what happened?
They had to close down.
The what?
They had to close down?
No. It was a big company, and
okay.
without even realizing it, I started blaming people. It's like, oh, these people.
Oh my God!
And then people would come up to me and say, "Hey, Arthur, can you help me with this?" I'd say, "Look, you do your thing. I'll do my thing." And I had gotten sucked into this whole culture, this whole environment.
Wow.
And so that's where I essentially started to kind of like become a total underachiever. I mean, have you ever been in a situation where, you really know you can do more and you can achieve more and everything else? And this was in Singapore, right? And so I knew that I could do more, but I just felt stuck,
Oh my God. Yeah, I can relate to that totally.
And I was, I do, how like there's those people that you look at them and they're not really very productive, but they're always busy. I was
I know that one.
I was one of those people. I became a total underachiever, and I was very busy, but I wasn't really that productive. And I was, it got to the point where it's like my boss would basically is like, well, okay, you tell me what to do and I'll do it. And the whole innovation thing, I just kind of stopped because the environment didn't support me and I didn't feel like I was really adding value, but I needed the money.
Yes. I relate to that.
So anyway, after a while, I looked into the mirror and I said, man, you suck. Not you, I mean, like in the mirror.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You told yourself.
Yeah. And so what happened was that I went and I asked these other department heads, all these bad people that were making my life difficult, and I asked them, well, like, wow, what's going on and everything, and I found out something very unexpected. I found out that they were real human beings and they also had real situations, real standards, and they wanted to kind of do a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do, but they also got sucked in.
Wow.
And so I'm thinking, wow, there's something here. And so this is where, I started since I was busy, but not really productive, I started using a lot of my busy time to do research on why this was all happening. Why can a complete achiever go into a group and become an underachiever and become something that they don't even like and even feel less valuable as a product of not being the best they can, and they can't even get out of it. Why? It's like you're stuck, right? And you wonder why. So I wanted to find out why. Originally, it was just kind of a beginning, right? And for me, I wanted to find out for me. But then, after about 9 months of doing this, and I'll go into some of the other stuff on what we discovered later. But I ended up trying some of this stuff, which later became known as the directive communication psychology, and I tried it with two other department heads, and we ended up saving the company $17,000 a week in wastage. Okay, awesome. And so after that, I started writing articles, and then I got on the radio, then I got on TV, from there, I'm thinking like, wow, I can quit my job, and that's what started me kind of building this up. And when I quit my job, I had already got some stuff going on. And the moment that I quit my job, all of the stuff that I had going on kind of stopped. And it's like, oh my gosh, and you're thinking, did I make a mistake? But I weathered it through, and there was, I was still in massive debt though. And so originally I'm, after kind of getting well known and getting things done, I decided that I needed to basically take this methodology and I needed to license it, because, me just doing it by myself isn't going to make a global impact.
Yes.
And that's where Bali came in.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because in Singapore is crazy expensive, especially when you're in massive debt, right?
Yes, yes. Because the first part is it's easy to start something in Singapore. It's about sustaining with the right financial model is important. Like, I agree with you. If we don't have it, then we are in for some expensive lifestyle.
So I needed to get graphic designers and web designers and programmers, and I needed to have, like a PA and all of these things that I needed to have, in order to really build the business. Yes. And then, of course, you're paying rent, which was crazy. Okay. And at that time, Bali, was still kind of new. It was before Julia Roberts came, and everything was still cheap.
Yes, I got that.
After Julia Roberts goes, right? So anyway, that was what kind of got me going into Bali. Originally, it was either Bali or Phuket, and Bali, and specifically Ubud, was the kind of place that really drew me. The energy here and was amazing, and it was really helped me to be creative, and at the same time, it helped me. I didn't have to worry about anything except focusing on work. And I got people that could do the work for me at a super cost-effective price, especially back then. And it was, and that's what really kind of got me moving forward. So that's nice. Why Bali.
Why Bali? I love Bali. And something, as we were speaking earlier on, I know you as someone who has been a trailblazer, right? When we first were sitting in that class together, I still can't forget it, just the three of us. That was probably the smallest class I've ever attended, but it was like the pioneering class that was the certified networker event. Remember that? And you were presenting your project, the reptilian mind, how it works and all of that. I was so intrigued that someone can come up with this very practical concept to understand how the mind works and how we can carry forth our life. And you have moved on to create your niche to the next level of what you did previously. And I so relate to that. And this DCI has become your niche. How did you create this niche? I know you told us the story behind it, but what made you choose that this will be the one for you?
All right. Well, okay. First of all, let's just look at, I'm a marketing guy. Okay. And I have a science background, and I love science, and I love mind, and but here's the thing. I don't like doing what everybody else has done. I've got this thing, right? Even like right now, okay, the place that I built, it's called Avalon. It's a castle. It's got secret passages and like moving bookcases and all kinds of cool stuff, right? Simply because, here in Bali, you've got all this kind of Balinese stuff and everything else, but this place, was built with a completely different concept. And now we're carving this new place out of the stone mountain next door, which is called the ancient lost city of Lemuria. Anyway, but the point is that there's this, the point is that, it doesn't take extra effort to do something new. It just takes creativity, right?
That's right.
So what I looked at was what was missing. Okay, so you got emotional intelligence, and you've got all these different kinds of tools that give you personality and everything. And originally I was looking, okay, so what are some of the things related to personality and everything else? And there's so much conflicting evidence, right? So everybody's got this whole thing, and this is like conflicting with this one, and this is conflicting with this one. It's like, man, not everybody can be right, right?
Right.
So one of the key elements was, okay, find out things that are going to essentially be root cause, right? Because I mean, at the end of the day, you know, if you are in, let's just look at the concept of emotional intelligence. One of the things that emotional intelligence teaches you is to be able to, you know, control your emotions, right? Well, yeah, that's really easy to say, but ultimately when you're dealing, you know, in a group of people that are freaking driving you nuts, okay, it's not that easy to do, right? So, you know, the idea was that, see, groups affect you, and nobody's talking about groups. People are talking about this and that and everything else, but people were not talking about the group dynamics. Why is it that when you're with your friends, or, you know, with one group of friends, like you are like super crazy awesome, and with another group of friends, you're just kind of like, well, man, let's just chill, okay? Or when you're with a, you know, your family, you're different than when you are at work. You know, all these groups bring out different facets of who you are. Why? And so I that was the question that I needed to answer, because if you could solve that problem, if you could unlock that secret, so to speak, then you would be able to literally create, manifest groups that bring out the best of yourself and people around you. And that's basically, you know, the foundation of what nobody else was doing, and what I focused on and developed. So DC psychology is the science of group dynamics, how people act and react to each other in groups, and how to influence those groups so that you yourself become the better part of manifest the better attributes of who you are, and can do the same for other people in the same group.
Wow, that is so awesome. And that's so deep work, I have to say. And you have been doing this quite amazingly well.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and you have been putting all these things together. And I want to ask you, because as I said, you've come a long way, and all these conversations you've been having, and recently, or rather, you have been chosen to be ranked number 4 as world's number 4 thought leader in organizational culture. You have been explaining so much of the important, and I see your passion in that. No doubt that you're number 4, and I know that in the next ranking, you probably go up the rank, because I've been seeing all your work online. It's just mind-blowing, the kind of passion and commitment you're giving to it. So we all want to know, if you don't mind, your secret to that, becoming number 4.
Wow. Okay. So anyway, my secret, you know, there's all kinds of secrets, right? But here's the thing. Okay. I mean, ultimately, it's about being passionate about what you want. What excites you, right? You know, I mean, ultimately, you know, and having a support group, like, you know, we were talking earlier. I mean, one of the real secrets to my success is we have right now at this moment over 560 licensed directive communication psychology trainers and consultants, okay, and another 200 plus organizational culture consultants, and you know, and we've got another program that we've just rolled out, the MIT coach, which is multiple instrument technology coach. And so all of these people basically are supporting each other, and for that matter, even supporting my success, right? Because ultimately, you know, anything that you do, if you're just doing it by yourself, you're limited, right? And you know, and you know, because we are a group, because we are you know, an empire that we are all trying to build, you know, we've got constant, like, I mean, for example, our team here in Bali supports our trainers and licensees to market themselves, right? Why? Because we've got all these online tools that they get to use. And of course, the more successful they are, the easier it is for us to also make money, right? Because they're buying the tools. And so, you know, everybody wins. And of course, see, the just the energy and the support of everybody. I mean, we've got people from, in Bahrain and Saudi and of course in Singapore and Malaysia and France and America. I mean, we've got people from all over that are giving different insights to each other, supporting each other. I mean, and because of that real support group, okay, and for that matter, the perpetuation of the brand. See, the more the brand is developed by everybody in that group, the better it is for the entire group, right? I mean, because everybody says, like, when they talk to their clients, they say we have done culture change for Dell. We have done culture change for Emirates. Okay, we have helped the Kazakhstan government to improve their processes. Okay, we have done all of these things. Okay, and so all of that basically goes back to the idea of why we as a group are just more powerful. And again, when these people are perpetuating the brand and coming up with ideas to support the methodology, and we give everybody credit for that too. Okay. I look good, okay? But it's not just me, it's the group.
Awesome. That is really like walking the talk of what you're doing for organizational culture. That's so awesome. Thank you so much. And I want to, like, while we are, closing off the session, it's like almost more than 20 minutes we've been talking to you. Really grateful for your time and all of that. Just before we round out the session, the current industry is going through a huge turmoil, especially the transformation, the training, coaching industry. That's a whole bunch of people who have been offline and they have been struggling to get online. Many of them like, okay, I'll get online. And by the time they step in, because there was a lockdown or whatever, and then they saw that it's opening up, so they stop everything on online and go back to offline. And then they realize it's closed again. So the struggle is happening for them. Nobody has accepted what's going on right now in the world. You kind of stepped up really fast. I mean, you go look at your screen, it's changing and giving all that different technology and all of that. Whoa. And that's awesome. Right?
Wait. You got to have the book plug too, right? So it's like, whoa, look at that.
Oh, right.
That's the latest book from Arthur Carmazzi. Whoa. How cool is that?
Wow. Awesome. So look at you. I mean, you kind of like spearheading the whole process and making people like it online. And that's so amazing. What is the advice you have for trainers and coaches right now who are stuck in a rut and they are not able to move?
Okay, wow. Okay, I mean, first of all, see, a lot of times people think that the training online is basically just doing what you do offline, except sitting in front of a couch or something in front of a screen and doing it. And it doesn't work that way. Your brain is totally different in a live situation than it is in front of a freaking screen. Okay, yes. And if you want people to actually learn, it's a totally different thing. So one of the key factors that I recommend is basically actually, the GTF, the Global Trainers Federation, asked me to do an online certification for them. So if anybody wants to get that at a discount, you can kind of PM me or send me a mail or something like that.
I will put up the message. I'll be putting up your websites into the link so people can connect with you. Not a problem.
Okay, but see that one of the key things in that element of that program, okay, see, people right now, when you're online, okay, people's attention span is very limited. That's but right. The best thing about online is that you have the opportunity to give people space and time to implement what they've learned in short periods, right? So this is an opportunity for you to get your phone, okay, and just simply do some recordings of your content, okay? Just do some simple recordings of your content, okay? And then you create these opportunities for people to go on live, and then you give them access to some of the recorded content, and then they come back live again for a short time, half an hour, 1 hour, so that you can discuss and maybe play some games related to the content, and I guarantee you the amount of retention and implementation is going to be far more that you can even get in a live situation. And that is, I mean, just in that area. So, I mean, the first thing, of course, you got to do is get over the fear, right? But, I mean, if you get the GTF certification, that also gives you some additional accolades for clients to hire you. But let's see, one of the things that, you really, when you're online, most people start to think they have to have like the fancy technology and everything else. Don't worry about it. Use the freaking phone, okay? Yeah. Be a normal human being, okay? You don't have to have perfect stuff, okay? And even when you're doing recordings, like I said, just do some simple recordings, 10 minutes maximum, and use your phone. Get a light, okay? If you don't have a light, go outside. It's okay. Don't worry. I mean, of course, if you can do better quality, hey, that's awesome. But if you can't, that's usually the thing that people get stuck on. Oh, it's not going to be good enough quality, yada, yada, yada. Get more money, and then you can get more stuff so you can increase the quality. Just, build up the business, start it, okay? Use your freaking phone, okay? It's okay. And, because right now people are a lot more forgiving for a lot of the stuff that's out there. I mean, of course, if you've got like cars in the background, okay, maybe it's not that great. I mean, try to find someplace that's reasonably quiet, right? But don't worry about high quality stuff, okay? Yes. Because the message that you have, the potential that you are giving other people, that is really the key. And like I said, don't just try to do it all online. Record little segments, okay? Do an online presentation that does not have the content, but kind of talks about what the benefits are and how they can do it and how they're going to implement it, and then give them the recorded sections, which are the content, as homework so that they can and implement, and then come back, talk about how they implemented, challenges in implementing, etc., so that people actually have a real life scenario that they have.
Wow, I think that's a wonderful tip, because I'm using too much of awesome. This I'm changing the word, by the way.
It's okay. It's okay. Awesome.
So this is a wonderful tip you have given, because people are so afraid to just do it, rather than sitting down trying to analyze how good they appear and how it's going to be like. That's why I tell people, 2008, I shamelessly start putting myself out there in the YouTube channel. If I look at it now, I'm like, no, I wouldn't want to put that up. Anyway, I did it. So this is where we are to really take forward your advices, your real-time experiences are so valuable, and we still look forward to learning more from you, and we definitely want you more in our shows, and also for our community to learn much more from you. Arthur, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. And I guess you're going to put my email address, right? So
yes. Yes, we will be leaving. So you have an event that's coming up. We can put up that contact number for people to get in touch with you, the email address, as well your website. They're all on the link. And definitely we will be in touch with anyone who wants to get connected with you as well.
And of course, remember, if you want to be part of the DC Psychology family,
yes,
you are able to do that now online. Okay.
Yes.
And of course, we have weekly meetings with all of our licensees, so you still get to be live, so you get the live element, you get the online stuff, okay? And so there is tons of ways that we can work together.
Absolutely. So get your emails up. You can send your emails to Arthur at this address. Let me just put it up one more time, just to be sure. And that's it on email, right? Yes, that's right. All right. Of course.
Oh, this one too. Yeah, this one is Arthur.c@carmazzi.net.
That's right. Great. There you go. Thank you so much. And that's so wonderful. Thank you, Arthur. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. You must share this video so that more lives can be impacted through these amazing transformational leaders that are appearing in our show. And you're going to see more of them inspiring you and igniting the passion in you to become the next change in the world. Thank you so much.
And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
That's right. To stay Updated. That's right.
There
Don't
you
forget
go.
to
There you
subscribe to the
go.
channel. Yes.
Click on the little bell button so to make sure that anytime that you come up that you have a new video that they get it.
That's right. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Have a pleasant week. We'll see you next week with another amazing mentor.